Hello, I am Daniel. In the next 30 minutes, I will be presenting you our solution Inventory Balancing and Optimization designed by our company Dowap by Teamwork. The group Teamwork as a company is a 750 employee company for a total amount of turnover of 110 million euro, sitting on 15 locations in the world. In this group, Dowap company represents the expertise in supply chain, particularly in the field of SAP IBP, Integrated Business Planning, SAP DDMRP solutions, sitting on SAP IBP as well as on S4HANA. As well, our expertise is developed in S4HANA manufacturing and as well on the PPDS, production planning and detailed scheduling. And last but not least, we also develop niche software like we will be discussing today with inventory balancing and optimization, as well as XSBS, meaning Excel SAP by side. Couple of our reference here, Longines company, watchmaking company, Omega company, also a watchmaking, Swatch Group, Danone food company, Kraft Food, and so on. Couple of those references are running already Ib&O since years, since 2006 for the oldest one. And here is just an explicit testimonial from Estée Lauder company, which implemented Ib&O in 2016 and then said that for the 5 markets implemented with Ib&O at that time, they would have saved $2-digit million in inventory savings. So by running some of the simulation capabilities of Ib&O, which for them represent a great solution, helping them to definitely realize benefits quickly. Now, let's enter in the paradigm of planning and probably for the root cause, about the root cause why we designed Ib&O at the beginning. The planning paradigm is that most of the company runs MRP as the only tool for planning, being in SAP, Oracle, whatever solutions. And by the way, the MRP assumptions are master data are accurate. Think just about this master data accuracy. If you Google it, then you're going to get 5 million results about just this master data accuracy query in Google, meaning that it's definitely a concern. Lead time are known. What if you are in multi-source for MRP? Stock are accurate, inventory are accurate. So then why doing stock taking? So of course, the accuracy of stocks is probably here, but not so much developed as expected by the MRP. Forecasts are accurate. In the base case, you've got a forecast accuracy of 80%, 85%, and likely requiring you to have guru in statistical. So not an easy thing to do. Internal variability is null. So meaning that in 2 different plants of your own company, lead times are under control and even the production lead times are as well under control. There is, of course, no expediting in production and procurement. This is here just a smile. Of course, yes, there is a lot of expediting in most of the company. The reality of MRP is demand will never be accurate. Supply may be under control, but never perfect. MRP is synchronous and generate a lot of planning noise anywhere in the bill of material. And MRP generates results that fluctuate from run to run. This is a fact, nothing related to Ib&O. Ib&O has been designed exactly for this purpose to say MRP is a good tool. What can we do better using MRP and our solution Ib&O? Let's go through a typical MRP situations where the company includes 5 locations here and 2 products, A and B products. So on this location, there is a big demand of 125 and the stock is only 25. A little stock, big demand. If you run MRP, what happens? The system calculates a net demand of 100 and then source that from the incoming location, where here there may be a little bit more stock, like a 10 stock, so meaning that the requirement is not reduced to 90, propagate down to the very initial source locations, maybe the factory, Here again, maybe a little stock, which transformed the 90 requirements into a 85. MRP generates a requirement of 85 here. Whereas at the same time, there was a lot of stocks in this location, and there was as well a lot of stock on this product, on this A product in this location. What a pity. You are currently reordering 85 despite the stocks sitting here and here. What can we do with Ib&O? Ib&O is exactly working at this problematic here, meaning that I've got a big demand, and what if I could substitute, for instance, the requirement on A and cover it with a substitute product, say like the B product? Or what if I could redeploy the 200 here on this location of A product in order to cover the missing quantity here? Or what about taking this order of 125 that we have seen here and relocate it here where there is enough stock to cover the customer demand? Okay, let me go back to that slide just to see the numbers. I've got 125 as a requirement. There is a substitute product possibly good enough here, but as well enough stock of the requested demand of the requested product. The same on this location. Ib&O is everything about analyzing the network and the possibility of covering requirement before even transmitting the requirement down to the source, to the upstream source of the product, and replenishing the product from the normal and regular source of the product. What do you do by so doing? You cancel some of the replenishment, meaning you cancel some investment in additional inventory. At the same time, you optimize your availability of product at a lower cost by just either transferring the demand to another location or redeploying some goods or substituting the goods to another goods that the customer accepts. This is all about Ib&O capabilities. Key concept of Ib&O. It is a solution which is available in ECC, in APO, and in S4. It can be run in two different ways. In normal SAP GUI, of course, whenever you are in ECC. It can be run in Fiori mode if you benefit of an S4 implementation. And in all cases, you can run it with Excel using our component XSBS as a front end. Ib&O is dynamically calculating the availability of goods at any point in the network, any node in the network, and calculate as well the requirements in any point of the network. That network is dynamically defined at the time of the run. You may run something on 2 locations dynamically, or 3 locations, or the whole set of locations. It's definitely your decision at the time of the calculation. You are able to run what-if analysis through simulations so that running the Ib&O sessions gives you a result that you can analyze even before committing in actual orders in the systems. Ib&O covers product substitution scenario where a product can be replaced by another in order to cover missing or to cover shortage. It is able to deploy or redeploy goods through your network or reposition your demand in the network where goods exist. The result of the Ib&O may be either stock transport order, stock transport requisition, or substitution order, depending the case that you want to engage during your different session. And by the way, Ib&O is rule-based, meaning that it only rules your own rules, not something which is hard-coded in the system. We, during the project, we define with you what rules are the best fitting with your business requirements. Now, as a solution, the benefits that you can expect are, of course, to optimize your availability, as mentioned before, to maximize your inventory capital, because an inventory is first of all an investment, and then by using it better, of course, you maximize your capital utilization versus investing more in replenishment whenever not required. You maximize your MRP investment as a solution because Ib&O is a companion to MRP. It's not a competitor. So Ib&O needs MRP, and MRP is better to use Ib&O as well to maximize the planning results. Reduce inventory and increase customer service level or internal service level. It's equal. It depends your different case. By the way, this is a solution which is very quick to implement. And like we've done with one of our customers, Orangina, each business unit implementation would be 3 weeks time only. So you will see that in the solution in a minute. This is very quick to learn. Really, a day is fairly enough to cover the functioning of Ib&O. And Ib&O is a live software. Is a live software, meaning that there is a maintenance program. This is a live software since 2006. It was initially designed. Now we are already in Ib&O version 3 with Fiori proposition and as well Excel proposition, where at the beginning it was only a SAP GUI version. Considering the different alternatives that you may have whenever you need to optimize your stocks, you can either select an ECC S4 standard solution. I'm fairly sorry here, but there is no coverage at all on how do you expedite your short-term issue or your long-term issue. This is quite a low quality results, meaning that it's all based on manual activity from planners to solve the critical issue. Then you can call for more advanced solution like APO, Advanced Planning and Optimization, or IBP, Integrated Business Planning from SAP, running the optimizer. On one end, yes, definitely this is giving you good results in long-term planning issue resolving, and nothing about the short-term, by the way. But it's very complex to implement. It's very fragile in terms of stability of the solution, and it's quite costly to implement. So with Ib&O, we have a nice trade-off, say, which makes the solution very simple, 20 days implementation. The skills required to implement and run Ib&O are very low, not bigger than running a normal MRP. Okay. Solution stability over time is very robust. No returns from customers, no tickets. There is no bugs. It's rule-based. The return on investment of the solution versus your savings is very good. And it's a good solution for short-term execution issue, like sales order shortage, production order shortage, things like that. And very good in the mid and long-term planning issue where you want to rebalance or redeploy goods over your network. Right, this is now time for demo. So for the demo, I propose that we go quickly on the three options we've seen in this presentation. First, that we've got 3 modes of running Ib&O. Here I am in a ECC system, and this is the SAP GUI presentation of Ib&O. Ib&O is fairly simple. This is all about Ib&O. Okay, with the master data, very little master data, product location, sourcing rules, and substitution rules. Then once you've done that, you can run already your inventory balancing and optimization session, and later read your results and do some cleaning. And by the way, the rules are encapsulated in a profile, so-called inventory balancing profile. That's here the SAP GUI, and I'm not going to spend very much on the SAP GUI. This is not very sexy, just to show you that it exists. Second mode is Fiori mode. Fiori mode, inventory balancing and optimization. Here you see as well the maintenance of the master data, like for instance, product location. And here you see the parameters of a product location within an Ib&O landscape, product locations, but as well the execution of the job or running or displaying some results, some previous results. like here. Each row is a run of an IBO session which was run, and then you see here how much was the product cost, the transportation cost, and the product margin. And if you get into one of those calculations, you see that a calculation may be calling for many propositions of stock balancing, like here, and each of them can be further assessed in terms of what was the fixed transportation cost, how much of variable cost, from where to where it was transporting the goods, and so on. And as well, some graphical displays, and that's the Fiori versions. To get into the detail of IBO, let me go to the Excel version as well. So the Excel version is available within the XSBS solution of Dowap solution. So let me connect XSBS. What it is, XSBS is a nice way to connect any SAP environment with Excel. And XSBS allows you constructing applications which extend the capabilities of SAP within Excel itself. So here I am in the XSBS home screens, which organize the different applications in different tiling, okay, like here. Good. And within the planning ones, I've got the inventory balancing tiles, which with a little bit of information, more information, you will understand what about IBO, okay, in the Excel mode. And now let me run the session. So now it is launching Excel in the IBO mode. By the way, it's not because I am in XSBS that the solution is not running on the SAP server in the background. So here, what do we see? We see first in this XSBS application for IBO, we see that there is a ribbon with the different features, different actions that we can have around the IBO landscape. Okay, and here we are in the execution mode, meaning that we can see the different variants to execute the sessions, the different sessions with a different set of parameters and rules. I will come to that point after. But even before that, you need to probably maintain your master data, like maintain your product, maintain your sourcing rules, or maintain your substitutions. And if you want to get the last version of substitution rules from SAP, just load. And it gets into contact with the SAP and load the data here back into Excel. Here it is. And I see that I've got 5 substitution rules, okay, 4 for the same products to be substituted with FG004, 5, 6, or 7 with different priority, different date, validity date, and so on. So these are the master data, the only master data that we need to run IBO. And if there is no substitution, you only need material and sourcing. Let's come back to the material. Material definition is where you want to involve these products into a possible IBO sessions. You can define that by the detail of each product and plant that you want to involve in IBO, or even say, well, by the way, this is too detailed. I want to define the rules at the material group or product hierarchy and plant, which means that instead of having, like here, many rules, 150 detailed rules, you may end up with 10 rules defining which products may enter in IBO. And that's why we're using these features. For instance, the implementation time of IBO is very short. Now let's go to the sourcing. The sourcing is defining which source, which plant can be a source, which one plant can be a destination in an IBO landscape. And by the way, which material can be transported over this transportation lane. Again, here, if you want to define that more generically, you would not mention the product. You may not even mention the source and destination plant, but define material group definitions, product hierarchy, and even country source and country destination. And of course, because we are in Excel, whenever it's possible, we add some further helps to explain what about those different screens. Because we are in XSBS, you may even call for further help. Okay, like here. What about the sourcing master? What about the product master? Okay? Or what about the substitution? Now we are finished with the presentation of master data. Even though I've forgotten, let me get back to the product and just tell you a little bit about the cost columns and the price column. For each individual product, you may define a cost, which is probably the standard cost, and the average selling price. Why do we need that? Because during the run, Ib&O will generate a number of propositions, and for each proposition, it will calculate an equivalent cost for this proposition and an equivalent turnover. Turnover being based on the price. So if you balance something from one location to another, that means you are likely to sell what you are transporting. So the equivalent turnover will be converted from the price and the balance quantity. Whereas the cost will be used to say, okay, you get a turnover and how much it costs you as well. So the cost is defined by the product, but as well by the transportation. Like here you see there is a fixed transportation cost and a variable transportation cost defined for each transportation lane. Last but not least, for all this master data, there is a validity status which allows you to just say this link is not available anymore, or it is available. And by the way, even when it is available, there is a validity date. Okay, now I'm done with the master data. Let's switch now to the execution mode, meaning that I want to run actively Ib&O. For that, I click the execution mode, and here you see I've got a number of tabs, which are what are my variant to run Ib&O. Okay. Then how do I run this variant which may mention that I'm going to run the variant for such inventory balancing rules from to date, balancing actually from to date for this range of material from this source to this destination, or from a range of source to a range of destination. That's equal. You define yourself what you need. You just click here and execute. And because XSBS is meant to work with SAP environment, as you can see, I can either click the button or press the F8 button, F8 key function to run the job. Now it's running. And once this is running, okay, I've got the result of this run showing up here within a couple seconds with here 375 proposition out of what I've just mentioned here. And for each of those propositions, this is for this product, you may be well advised to transport from this source to this destination on this date, this quantity to be balanced, because you had a requirement, uncovered requirement on the destination of 275. And by the way, by so doing, this is going to cost you that much, okay? But you will have this revenue for an equivalent margin of that much, okay? So this is the detailed proposition. They are all summed up by run themselves. So that's why we've got the balancing run display here, where you see for each individual run in the past, maybe under the same name but different dates, when I run that on a regular basis, and you see that the margin evolves depending the number of propositions given by the system. And you may quickly here see, well, okay, out of the demo execution, it was that much. If I refresh from SAP, yes, that's the one, okay. From SAP here, that was my different runs over the time. So here on the 18th of June here, I could save up to 4 million something, okay. Oh, it's demo game here. Huh? The same for these jobs, or for these ones, or these ones, or these ones, for instance. Okay, and because we are in Excel, let's say, for instance, I take again this demo and then reload the results. Now I am in the result of this one, test 3 results, and I may even analyze that not only by the detail, but using pivot table like here. And you see this pivot table tells me quickly, well, this run was over the FG003 and FG004 product, and then it was transported from this location to this location, a 540 required quantity was balanced by only a single proposition, balancing the 540 in one go. Okay, for a total cost, a total revenue, and so on. Here you see the very interest of Excel elements like pivot tables to interpret some of the results calculated in SAP. And this is more or less about it. This is Ib&O Solutions, which calculates a rebalancing plan, a redeployment plan, a substitution plan out of your own rules defined by your rules profiles, which I have not shown you. And let's switch to Fiori again, just to show you the rules. Okay, the rule content. So if I go to the profile, which is the rule content, you see here that for this scenario, bring back goods from stores, then there is a set of how do I determine in the header, how do I determine the requirement to be covered, and how do I supply this shortage with 1, 2, and 3 rules. Sometimes it's only one rule for supply, it may be several. It's your decision. That is it. So I'm done with the demo. Now I propose that we exchange with your questions that you can enter in the webinar tool directly in the chat tool. Thanks for your time, and let's discuss now. Thank you.